Hello, everyone. My apologies. My name is Andrew. I am your Voices community manager. I apologize for the early issues. We had some unfortunate audio, video, technical difficulties. Very Friday afternoon of an issue. My name is Andrew. I am your community manager here at Voices. I am here to guide you. And speaking of guides, today we are talking about our brand new user guide, something very cool, very exciting that we're going to go through. We have incredible together some really impressive guides that would allow you to navigate the Voices platform and get the absolute most out of your membership here. A really exciting time and a really exciting piece of literature, very in depth. We have both client and user platform available. Some very deep guides that will show you absolutely positively everything you need to know to get your membership where it needs to be. Just going to give a little time here, of course, as we have the mistaken. We had the wrong stream going there for a minute. That it's just the way it goes. Very Friday. We'll blame it on the Halloween. We're gonna blame it on spooky season. Blame it on a curse right there. Anyway, our brand new top of the line user guides, completely refreshed for our new modes of the different jobs you can do, whether that just not just voiceover anymore. You can also be doing translation work. You can do audio engineering, music, all of that stuff and more. All of that can be found on voices.com. We are building off of the talent user guide is what we are talking about today. My name is Andrew. I am the community manager. I do a lot of conversing in my time with folks who have questions about their account, about doing things properly, about doing everything they need to do to get what they need to get out of their voices. And we appreciate your time and your interest in the platform. Lots to get to today, lots to get through. Unfortunately, starting half an hour late, not exactly what I wanted to be doing at this time, but so it goes. You can find this user guide on under our resources and in our talent section, voices.com/talent user dash guide. It's 10 different chapters giving you absolutely everything you need to know how to do this. Starting off at the very top, very simple stuff, how to join Voices and how to complete your Voices profile. It gets into how to reply to jobs, how to get paid, how to communicate with your clients, changing your settings, using the mobile app, the Trust Center, which gets into our privacy policy, our community guidelines, our terms of service, things that your sort of and legal and that sort of stuff, the agreements that you're going into, your privacy, your content, your work, usage policies, all of that sort of stuff. And then of course your resources, your customer support, and your community. These user guides really are it's a real true full 360 walkthrough as to how to be a successful part of the Voices team. We start off, of course, right at the top in chapter 1, joining Voices. It's been your success is our success, really is the mantra here with Voices. We get paid when you get paid. We get paid through people booking jobs and people booking work. That's what it's all about for us. And really, the really most important thing, and this is in chapter 1. This is right up top for a reason. If you're an experienced professional looking to expand your clientele and looking to add big names to your portfolio, that's what Voices is for. That's how you know it is right for you. We're here to open doors, to work with some of the world's largest brands, to build your reputation, to expand your creative services in the online industry. Instead of calling gatekeepers or spending your time making the right connections from home, we do that. We facilitate that work for you, so you can just focus on doing the work and booking the jobs. If you're new to the industry, we also have that covered as well. If you're an expert in the audio services, we have resources to help you get set up, to help you get going, whether you are booking your first, your fifth, or your 1,000th job. Again, a little patience. We apologize. The technical difficulties we had today started this a half hour later than we wanted to. But that is sort of the way it goes sometimes when you're dealing with live broadcast technology. As you said, there's nothing worse than setting up all that freelance work and having no job opportunities. We have helped thousands of employees get to where they need to be, go from newbie to pro, and we are here to do the same. Now, the question a little bit I get as the community manager, as somebody who talks to a lot of our talent, who talks to a lot of prospective talent, who talks to people on social media or whatnot. What this is not for is the idea that you are signing up, and just signing up gets you immediately what you need to do. You had to be putting in the work. You have to be creating on your own, and growing your skills, and really evolving, and treating it as an art. I often make the comparison to buying a guitar and writing a song doesn't get you on the radio. It's about putting in that extra work. We are here to help you bridge that gap between sort of your learning process and getting you in front of the right clients, getting you jobs, getting you auditions, getting you gigs. We have access to more than 42,000 companies that post more than 5,000 jobs per month, hassle-free payment, and you get the support. The number one thing, when I talk to our talent every single week in our talent showcase, the number one thing when we ask them why they are working with Voices, why Voices is the place that they have stuck with for some of them as many as 16 years, it is because of the support staff, because of our project management team, our account managers. They are love to get that personal relationship with our talent, to email them, to talk about their progress, to talk about their work. That is really what it's all about, as well as a community of successful creatives, which we're going to get into in a minute here. And if you're just joining us, we are talking again about the Voices user guides. You can find that in the resources section, voices.com/resources. We are going through the talent guides this afternoon, pardon me. Very first thing on here is creating your account. Very simple. Right to the voices.com/sign up and go to find work as talent. That will create your account, email address, verify it. Boom, you are in. Then you will be picking your level of account. A guest account. I get a lot of people who have guest accounts who are asking me how to start booking work. When you have a guest account, what you are doing is creating a profile. You are creating a presence on our site, similar to your own personal website. A lot of voice actors, a lot of audio talent do have their own personal website. If you are with Voices and that is your only personal website, that's fine too. That's going to show up when you are Googled. If your name and voice actor, your Voices profile is going to show up. So it works sort of in the same way as a Facebook profile or a Twitter account. It's your voiceover specific profile. For you, it's a chance to tell us what your skills, and most importantly, I cannot say enough, the most important thing you can do with a guest profile is put together your creative portfolio. Upload demos if you are doing voiceover, upload portfolio samples if you're doing audio editing or if you're doing translation. Very, very, very important that you get that stuff in there, because especially as a guest account, that is going to be the only way that you can be found by clients. They're going to hear your demo. They're going to hear your work in that way. And that will be the way they invite you to private jobs. It'll be challenging. It'll be tough, especially at first. But that is sort of the crux of the guest account. A premium account, which you pay for, then you get access to clients, you get access to jobs, you're able to unlock those income opportunities. You can respond to public invites, and you will have higher visibility in search results. That's the profile. That's what's important. That's what's important in getting off the ground and completing your profile, as we have said many times in these office hours, and as you will see throughout your Voices documentation. Completing that profile, getting your portfolio put together, getting your work, your resume, your personal advertisements. This is your handshake. This is your business card. Is your Voices profile. Review your demos, put in your portfolio samples, do ratings, reviews, all of that stuff. That all comes from the Voices profile, and that is where you are matched with your job opportunities. That's where you're going to put in your fields, like what languages you are able to key in, your gender, your age, the genres you are good with, the software that you're using, and that's where you tag up your demos to get yourself into search, which is, of course, where a large part of the booking process comes into. Be sure that profile is 100% complete, because if you are not 100% complete, it makes it much more difficult to add you into the search fields. You're also going to get help And there's a lot more to completing your profile. I mean, it's demos, it's personal info, it's your address, it's your services, the things you do, your skills, all of these important things, the overviews, the descriptions, the tags, the demos, as I said, very, very, very important. You get complete walkthroughs as to how to do all of that, how to reorganize them, why it's important, your work experience, your client list, all this stuff is a part of completing your profile, including testimonials, ratings, reviews, compliments, whether they be from clients you've worked with in the past or clients here on the Voices platform. You're also going to have access to statistics, and you get a little inspiration from the new Voices leaderboard, which is guess it lets you know what the top talents on our platform are doing, what they're doing right, what they're earning, and things like that. There's also help with replying to jobs, which you will see at the Jobs tab at the top of your home screen. The job match is it's a score that we calculate based on your demos and your profile, your strengths matched up with the strengths that those seeking talents are looking for. That is again why it's really, really, really important for you to be filling in your demo properly, to be giving the total information and representing yourself well in your demos and your portfolio samples. That's where that information is pulled from. That is where that information matches up with. That's how all of that comes together to give you a complete picture of how your work comes together and how your jobs are picked in the job match program. There's information about how to navigate the job lists, the 6 tabs that keep you organized and keep tracking your jobs: hiring, saved, answered, awarded, done, and archived. All of those have their different important things. You're going to spend most of your time, of course, in the hiring tab. You find out the posted date, who the job is for, the ratings of the client, the service, the status, the budget, your score, the response deadline. You can then save things for later or reply to that job right there. There's a ton of information about all these different things. It's a real complete education in how to use the featurette. So that's how you complete your profile. That's how you reply to jobs. What are you really here to do? You're here to get paid on the platform. And we have all the information in this user guide as to how to guarantee that you get paid with SurePay guaranteed payment. Clients can manually release their funds to you after your work is done, but if they don't, the funds are automatically released to you 14 days from the agreement's delivery date. So you don't have to worry about that. They paid out to you the following Friday via PayPal or check. It is much quicker to use PayPal. That will be released to you the following Friday. That's a PayPal. That goes through PayPal. That's not on our end. We do have some questions sometimes about when that payment goes through. That's a PayPal policy, that extra week. So it'll be about 2 Fridays generally after you complete that job that you will see that payment come out. And I know that can be challenging when you're first starting out, when you're getting your first pays, when you're booking your first jobs. Obviously, you want to get that payout as quickly as you possibly can, and that is that makes total sense. But that process is just sort of how the SurePay technology ensures that everything is done the way that it is supposed to do. There's also information about communicating with your clients on here. You have an inbox in your profile. You get messages from your clients or your Voices account manager, who sometimes manage jobs on behalf of clients. Those will be appearing in your inbox. They can send you messages. The client can, your account manager, to start the exchange, at which point you can reply, you communicate as needed. You can also review your sent details, all your message details, and change around your settings. There's lots of different settings. Of course, from your personal information, you can go on vacation mode, so you're not flooded with dates. Clients aren't reaching out to you trying to book your jobs. The time zone, so that clients know when to expect your deadlines. All that sort of stuff is available as you tweak your settings. There's also information in this guide, as well. Your payments, whether you choose PayPal or check. You can sign up for a free PayPal account because Voices covers all the transaction fees associated with PayPal. That's a way that we make sure that you make more money with us. You can check out frequently asked questions on how we do our PayPal account. I'm going to link that in the chat right here, right now. Whoopsie doodles. I link just the words "this frequently asked question" and not the actual link itself. Feeling very proud I am on this so far. Appreciate you guys following along with me today. Again, I know it is a lot of talk. We're gonna get to Q&A here in just a minute and answer your questions. We had some questions from social media that we're gonna filter in and make sure that we are doing getting the answers to those, because of course this interaction, this live conversation is what it's all about. The mobile app, you may not know this, primarily for our subscribers, for premium and platinum talent, the Voices mobile companion app. It's there to let you stay on top of your jobs on the go. You can see job opportunities and narrow down your job list, accept job agreements, upload files, and send messages, check on your payments, all that and more in the Voices mobile app. There's some great information about that available on the site if you want to check that out. Just been linked in the chat there by our wonderful moderator today, Julia, who has been extra patient as I have sweated through the technical difficulties that we went through earlier today. And then, as I mentioned at the end, it's a lot of legalese. You talk about our trust center, which is where we facilitate the connections for your work while keeping you safe and secure online. That is tantamount and most important for us, is making sure that you can trust the payments, trust the jobs, trust the usage. That is our cornerstone of our business, and very, very important to us as well. You see the privacy policy and the community guidelines in there, as well as our terms of service, stuff that you probably shouldn't have to worry about too much if you're just here booking and looking for work. Sometimes, listen, you might need a real person to sit with and talk to. Prefer to answer the questions that you can't find in our support center. We have tons of resources for that. You can call customer support 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. Get them on the phone at 1-888-349-3472 or email support@voices. You'll get a reply within 24 hours on weekdays, and on the following Monday on weekends. We have tons, as I said, of resources. The Help Center, the resources library, and I will say that Help Center, it's rich in abilities and in details and things that you can learn about, and how to troubleshoot, how to get answers for all of those things that may pop up while navigating the platform. There's Voices Lessons, which teaches you the specifics and the ins and outs of each thing with step-by-step information. Our Voices blog, of course, we're constantly adding new information there, relevant stories, things that are going on in the community, ways to improve, ways to learn, all of that stuff and more is available on the Voices blog. And of course, our trove of podcasts, Vox Talk with Stephanie Cicerelli, comes out every Friday. That is brand new and ready to go. And keep your ears out for a little bit more. We also have the YouTube channel, which of course you know about if you are here, and the community forum, community.voices.com, is where you can talk to your peers and folks in the talent community and get information, share stories, learn more about voices, about voiceover, about audio production, about music, about anything you need to know in the industry. You can find it there in the Voices community forum. And of course, we also have webinars. We have webinars going on all the time. The reading room with Evan is excellent. You get a chance to read scripts in front of real peers and coaches and all kinds of great stuff. It's a really neat, worth checking out. Some really great interactive stuff there as well. A combination of Voices led how to help stuff with both performance as well as some technical stuff led by some internal things with our platform as well. Getting the most out of your platinum membership is a really cool webinar, as well as the coaches led stuff. There's some coaches that will come in and give you direct feedback, which everybody wants. You always want that direct feedback when you are getting out there and putting yourself on the line like that as a presenter. And that is sort of a quick overview of the 10 chapters of the user guides. Again, I would say if you have any questions about anything to do with voices, you can find it in this user guide. It is a really cool, really well put together, really hard, well thought out piece of documentation that allows you to get all the information you could possibly need to get out of your Voices membership and learn how to really build a quality portfolio and a quality account, which will, of course, lead to quality bookings and quality work here with us at voices. I want to turn it over to Q&A. We had some great questions this week on Instagram. And from our social media, we talked a little bit with the user guides. We got through sort of the help manuals and all that stuff. This is sort of a little more broad, a little more, open it up to the floor. There's some VO questions. There's some dubbing questions. So the first question comes from voice artist Ujwal. Pardon me if I mispronounced that. They want to know how to sync your voice for a particular character in dubbing. Very interesting. This is one of those. This is dubbing is something that we're seeing, um, becoming a really big piece of entertainment as international movies and um, international television shows and series. We saw the success of Parasite. Squid Game was a big thing on Netflix. These international films and movies are more and more becoming part of the worldwide entertainment oeuvre, the zeitgeist, if you will. They're becoming more and more popular, and we see them made all the way. So how to sync our voice for a particular character in dubbing? Listen, that can be. That can be a challenge, of course. I think the number one thing you want to do is to really understand, and more than anything, and this is what I get from a lot of our talent that are in this stream and in voice acting, is understand the acting part of it first. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're talking around the same amount of time as the character that you're dubbing, and I think keeping that visual up, if you have access to the visual that you are dubbing over, having that playing in front of you on a monitor, really important. Have that muted out so that you are able to sort of see your work as it goes along. It's a skill. It's a difficult thing to develop, but something that um, you grow as an actor through doing. So how to sync your voice for a particular character in dubbing is, I think, would be to get to know the character as best you can, and really as much source material as you can for both how the character uh, talks and acts, and how much time you have for each one of your lines and each of the things that you're dubbing over. I will find you some more documentation for us in how to best do that. As of course, I am a community manager and not a vocal coach, but I would say that get as much information as you can about the character that you're taking on, and about the amount of space that you have to produce those dubbings, to produce those pieces of content, and to make sure that it's synced up the way that it needs to be. From Kara Lee on Instagram, what's the best way to get feedback on auditions? And then puts in parentheses, mission, audition, etc. I'm not going to tell tales out of school, but I will say this. If you were a fan of Mission Audition, keep your ears and eyes on Voice's social channels, because that is something that, as the community manager, I hear a lot of feedback from our talent, from people who are guest accounts, from people who are premium accounts, people who are platinum accounts, even people who want to work with coaches maybe, but aren't at this time. That Mission Audition is something they are very interested in, and I would say to you that I see you and hear you, and I would expect some opportunities with things like that to be not too far in the future. In the meantime, though, our Voices Community Forum has a section for peer feedback. You can go to the Voices Community Forum at community.voices.com. In the VO thread, there is a place for peer feedback. Apologies, Nate. No need to apologize for being late. You made it late. I made it late, my friend, with some technical difficulties halfway through. So we've abbreviated it down. It's a little shorter than I wanted it to be, but I appreciate you showing up and being active in the chat. Just talking about the best way to get feedback on auditions. Again, work with a coach when you can, I would say. But in terms of internally with Voices, check out the webinars page, voices.com/webinars. The reading room is a great way to get immediate feedback. And again, the Voices community forum has a spot directly for peer feedback. You will get people who are experienced, people who have been doing this for a long time, that will be honest with you, and also be quite gentle with some tips and advice for you as a VO artist. Another question from Kara Lee, how to optimize your profile to get access to postings. This is a great question and something that I think, especially with beginners on our platform, maybe don't know the secret sauce about. But I would say the number one thing to optimize your profile is make sure that your demos are uploaded, make sure that your demos are well tagged. You want to make sure that you have everything covered that you are doing in that, the style that you are doing, the gender that you are doing, the age, the accents. You want to make sure that you have as many of those things tagged as much as you possibly can, and make demos for all the different ways and skills that you have. Instead of trying to jam everything into one demo, I would say to you, my piece of advice is to make demos for each of your different skills, each of your different accents, everything that you do in your skill set. Make a specific demo for it. So I'll give you an example. Is if you were, let's say you did 3 different accents and you tagged them all in one demo, and you put, we'll say British accent was the third one in your demo, and someone, a casting director or a client, somebody is very quickly trying to find an actor with a British accent. And in your demo, it goes New York accent, West Coast accent, then British accent. They're probably not going to listen all the way through to get to that third accent. Make specific demos with each of your specific skills and tag them to high heck with every single piece of information you can think of inside that demo. A question here from the chat from Nate Ricks: is it customary to not hear back when you audition? It is fairly common that you're not going to hear back when you audition, especially if you auditioning for a role that gets a lot of people submitting for it. If it's something that has especially if it has an especially quick time. The reality with people who are doing e-learning projects, who are doing corporate projects, who are doing, maybe something that isn't being handled by a casting director, if it's just being handled by a project manager, they're just looking for the right voice and are going to move forward with it. They're going to want to move very quickly. They're not necessarily interested in giving you feedback and making you a better voice actor. That's what we are for. That's what Voices is for. That's what our coaches seminars are for. That's what our webinars are for, is for helping you get better. That's a little more internal. In terms of relying on the client to give you feedback, it is not always going to be something where they're interested in making you a better voice actor. The casting agent is a little more interested in just getting the right person for their job. Another one from Instagram: what are the best tips for perfecting emotion in voiceover reads? That's a very good question. I would say, and this is something that I've learned as I talk more and more with voice actors and with people who have had real success on the platform and people who have booked national campaigns and national commercials and television and radio, is to think of it like acting more than you think of it like voice work. I think the idea of just doing voice work, it very much, you get sort of into that lane of like, well, I have a good voice and I'm good at talking, I'm going to be able to book things. When in reality, it's a little more acting heavy than you may have thought originally. I like to call it small V, big A. Less on the voice and more on the acting. So the tips for perfecting emotion, I mean, listen, that's a very difficult thing for me to answer, but I would say, approach it like an actor. Try to get to know your character, even if it's a small character in a radio commercial, even if it's a character that is selling cars or talking about discounts on jeans. Get into the emotion of that. Tap into that excitement. Tap into that, what you're being asked to read and what the real, true emotion behind it is. Really approach it as an actor is what I would say. From Katesh on Instagram: how to change the voice automatically. Not totally sure what that one means. That's how to change your voice automatically. I mean, listen, there is no automatic way to do any of these things. It comes from training. It comes from work. It comes from putting in a lot of time. building your skill set, thinking about what you're doing critically. I think that's another big one is be critical of your own work and try to approach it as best you can from a place without bias. Similar to, as I said before, about buying a guitar and writing a song doesn't get you on the radio. Um, you have to be striving to constantly add, to constantly improve, to constantly move forward with your voice and the types of things that you take on. Andy in the YouTube says, I heard that more entertainment studios these days prefer having voice actors with their home studio because it's convenient rather than having to drive slash walk to a convenience to a recording studio. That is absolutely true. More and more talent that I talk to on a weekly basis in our talent showcase are working out of their home studios. Obviously, the pandemic has had a major factor in that, in the fact that we are all working from home anyway, but making that investment in your home studio, making that investment in equipment, making that investment in some soundproofing, making sure that you're delivering quality audio makes things easier for you, as well as makes things easier for the folks on the other end who can maybe get their audio turned around in 12 hours, in 8 hours, in 24 hours. If you're able to promise a 24-hour turnaround and all the director has to do is Skype in for a minute and Skype out, that goes a long way and is really going to help you out, especially in the long run. Nate asks how you prevent voice fatigue. Number one, take breaks, of course, take breaks, but make sure that you are hydrated. You're going to want to be drinking water half an hour to an hour before you get in there into the studio. Take care of your voice. Hot tea and ginger is a classic one, but do vocal warm-ups. Don't just jump into the booth and start getting super high energy. Warm your voice up. We have some great vocal warm-ups available on the blog, and something that similar to how an athlete stretches before they run. Stretch those vocal cords, stretch that audio, stretch those your voice out, because you're going to be asking it to do a lot, especially on those longer reads. If you're doing an audiobook, if you're reading multiple chapters, if you're doing 1, 2, 3 hours of conversating, you're going to want to really make sure that you're warmed up and ready to go, and to take breaks. Also, citrus fruits can help with that a little bit. There's a great piece on our blog about which fruits are great for vocal health. So pace yourself. Don't push yourself. Similar to an athlete playing with an injury, make sure that you are taking care of yourself. That is just so important. Chidinima asks, is there any chance of getting a discount for upgrading my account to premium? Not at this moment, but I would say, we have a great team on our sales team that are always looking for ways to help out our talent, to help folks get a chance to get on the platform and really see what it's all about. I know, listen, November, December, right around the corner. I would keep an eye if you are really interested in a discount and you're interested in being a part of the platform. I would look for, there are codes all over the place. We are constantly putting on sales and coming up with new things. I would say keep an eye on the Voices social networks. And in the meantime, really make sure that if you're on a guest account, that it is absolutely 100% filled out, that you have demos uploaded, that all your stuff is tagged, that everything is ready to go. And it is absolutely ready, that when you are decided that you want to become a premium account, that all you have to do is flip the switch and you're ready to go, versus having to then completely build your account out. And Nate says, sometimes when I audition, they ask for live sessions. Is that always possible? That's up to you. I know that as people move to working from home, the ability to do a live session, the ability to dial in IDSN, Zoom meeting, those live directions, there's a lot of value in that. And it will allow you to make sure that you're delivering what your client wants, because they're able to hear you in real time and really give you the direction that you're looking for. So if you can find a way to offer a live session, that certainly does help increase your value as a talent. That's about it for today. Thank you so much again for your patience as we experienced technical difficulties and got after it about a half hour later than we normally do. I appreciate everybody in the chat for asking great questions. If you have any more questions, I cannot recommend enough the Voices user guides we talked about today. Tons of incredible information in there about everything from setting up your account, replying to jobs, getting paid, to the Voices community forum, all that stuff and more available on our user guides. And if you're a part of the Voices community and want to keep the conversation going, community.voices.com. The community forum is built for you to have your say, to have your conversations with your peers and learn and grow and become a better voice actor, because that is what it is all about. I thank you so much. My name is Andrew. I am the community manager here at Voices. I really appreciate your time joining us today. And thank you to Julia in the chat for moderating, doing an incredible job finding those links and talking to you folks. I hope you have an excellent weekend, a happy Halloween, and I will see you next time on Voices Office Hours.